Greetings. Today we have the pleasure of interviewing the legend Edi Fitzroy.
Yes, man. Greetings and welcome, man. It's a very good vibration today. Yes, nice. Good vibration. Earth sweet. Fullness thereof with everyone. Yes.
It is September 19th, 2006. And I just want to ask you a couple questions.
Sure.
A few questions. Well, let's start with the basics. Growing up in Jamaica as a kid, tell me a little about your parents and growing up in Jamaica. I know you were born in 1955, and you did a lot of schooling. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, first to begin with, I must give God thanks and praise for life. Also to my mom and my dad, Catherine Robinson, Basque Edwards. Yeah, great people, and the people who color my life in my humble district in Jamaica, a place called Clarendon, Chapelton. Growing up as a child in Chapelton there, born there 55, seeing myself as you growing up, it was very nice because it's all about nature. And my dad was a farmer and also a son of a farmer who do like sugar cane in those days, back like in the 30s coming up. But then after, my granddad died, which is my father. My dad is a man who always liked music. Yeah. So as a young man, after, granddad died, was pushed out and all, his sisters and brothers who don't went to England, went to USFA and, everyone on their own. But my dad just chose music and business. And he went to Montego Bay, St. James, another parish that's like west of Jamaica. Where what I heard then, before I was conceived with my mom, Catherine Robinson, that he's a man that interests like in music. And in those days it was like the blues and the beat. And my dad's set was like County Drops, operated by a guy named Blackbeard. Was like in those days I call those guys like selectors or operators. Nowadays I call it selectors, in those days were like operators. And everyone said it was fun with dad. In those days you have like less electricity. So my dad could move from one, parish to another, but you have a car thing called the Delco, the little gas, so you just start up, but people enjoy that, in those days like first domino, little Richards, yeah. And it was very exciting for him. And I was conceived in 55 then, and then my mom she have to be like, at night, go to, follow him to all these sessions, So I was like in the stomach there. So from then I'm hearing beats in my brain, at those blues dance and things. So it's all about that. And it was great to know that I could really, at that early stage, before I really conceived, to know this music, and enough respect to my dad, Basque Edwards. After leaving, conceived, my mother really conceived, and then I was born in 1955. My father went to business, music at the same time. Then the business aspect didn't work out, so he went back to his roots in Clarendon, Chapelton, and came back there, settled down, me, my big brother. Went to Chapelton Primary School. Well, most of all I went to this school called Mas Alti Infant School in those days, a little infant school, humble, pay a little potty, call it halfpenny, to get an education as a child. But then I know my mission, what I want to be in life, as far back as that. And, I always say to myself, just to make people happy as a child. So during them time, it was nice, going up at the farm and thing. I went to Chapelton Primary School. It was great times, you know. School concert, we call it like the prom. It was nice singing. You know, we have like in them time like in the 60s, you know, you have like Delroy Wilson coming through and people like Ken Booth. So as a young child then, you know, one want to be like emulate or you know, inspired by these artists, you know. So what I say, oh, somebody will sing like you know, a Scar rhythm or a Earl Dunkley or you know, a Delroy Wilson. And in that time my favorite artist as my inspirator, so I should say, was Delroy Wilson, you know. I love that guy. He had a golden voice. I know, you know, prom was very nice, you know, in those days, like you sing at mic. If you're going to sing on stage, like you're the, you call it, like the, you know, singing ital. That's what people say. So then from then I know that I was musically oriented. So there's nothing new. And during that time, school vibes, you know, education is more important to me, you know, Glennon College. You know, which is, I think is one of the best colleges in Jamaica, you know.
You said you had a brother?
Yeah, Linval Edwards, yeah, that's my first brother, right.
How many brothers and sisters?
There's one brother and 3 sisters.
Three sisters, wow.
Right, you know, which I really respect them and love them very much, you know. The only, within my dad and my mom is just my brother and me, my dad and, you know, myself. Out of that, my first sister, she's Linda Martin is my, you know, my mom's first child, and then my dad during that period, you know, I won't say get kids outside, you know, I don't like to use that term, you know, I'm an explorer within the cosmic of flesh. So you know, I have 2 sisters born, you know, born outside of mom and dad. So it's great because I love them all, because it was ordained that you know, that way to be done. So during that time, still just exploring, listen to music in the country, Chabatan. It's nice, you know. It's a community that everybody does, you know, groove, nice, you know, everybody business. So tragically, I wouldn't say tragically, but in 68, around there, mom and dad split. So my brother went to Kingston, you know, 68. With mom, so I have to stay, you know, back, as I would say, you know, Queen's English, but so that's like a jam with my grandfather still, which was a experience, you know, because living your granddad alone, you know, we'd have no one around, so I will have to take care of all things, domestic affair thing, you know. Go to the field, feed the cows, feed the pigs, move the horses, you know, early in the morning, try to get back to school at 7:30. So if I wake up like 4:30 in the morning in those days, yes. But you know, my grandfather's a militant man. He fought World War II, so he was like a soldier. You know, you call those people who pick up the bodies, and there was a term we used for them at that time. He never actually like fire guns, but he pick up bodies to bury, and you know, so it's more like a military person, you know. So 4:30 in the morning as a young child at 8, you have to be up. Reason for that, you know, during summertime you have to pick up like cane band, like the top of the sugar cane, because during the days in the summer, grass dry, but cane is on. So if you don't go early in the morning, then by 8 in the morning, all the farmers come and took away all the cane bands. So that's what the experience. So during that time I know, you know, what I was, I know what I want in life. Which I said otherwise, education was the most important thing in my life. So 69, my mom, you know, she sent my brother for me, which was like great inspiration. Because them time to see what Kingston City at the time was like Hollywood, you know. You have people leave from the city, come to the rural in those days. So, you know, come town. You know, you say town, you mean Kingston. You know, it's the city, you know, livelihood, it's like Hollywood, people bubbling. So it was like a great experience for I, you know. So I came to Kingston 69, living at Jordan Road with my grandma and some of my cousins. Until I got to grandma, you know, she was a great person. Her name was Miss Ida Waysome, you know, who then had a lot of you know, grandkids around her. You know what I mean? You know, she knew to really bubble pot to feed like 6, 7 of us. In those days, it's really tough. And cause we were all like, you know, around, you know, 10, 12, 14, 15. And she was like in her early 40s, so strong. But she know what to do, work. And 69, 70 there. My brother now usually attend this school called Western Commercial Institute after leaving CC coming up in that time as a young child, because I didn't finish my school in that time, CC, you know, and college as a young child. So I went to Kingston and went to this school called Western Commercial Institute, 1970, where I pursued accounts as a young child, 15, 16, around that time. So I know from then I know what my mission was. And you know that there was a guy named Dub Master who was a student at the school, private institution. You know, my brother usually attend, and also my aunt, her name was Aunt Peggy. We used to have like prom too, and he had a sound system, as I said before, we used to play like and sing on it, you know. So it's like a joy and inspiration, you know. And after that I graduated 1972, and my mom then moved from the heart of the city to a place called Kingston 13. Where now Spitua Road. I was living at 48, and this guy named Freddie Top, he's a guy who take care of the community. It was like you know, those people you call him like not really a rude boy, but it's more like a community take care of them. You know, if you do anything bad out of the way, this guy you go to and he can put everybody in line. You know, if you're wrong, then you know what happened. If you're right, then you're okay. And usually there was some system over there called Cheese International. So, you know, not getting a work after graduating from, you know, this institution, 72, then it's kind of tough. My brother was working then, graduated from the Western Commercial Institute, so it was kind of like a rough on him still, but the music vibes, singing, you know, the night time we have like a 2-beer, you know, get the kids. But then I know my ambition and I know what to do, because there's 2 things in those days out of the inner city. You know, most people call it ghetto there, you know, we call it inner city. You know, it's that it's either a gunshot or education, or third, which is like 3 sides to a coin, which is music. So then there's a guy who was working at JBC, who was attending my school, Western Commercial Institute. His name was Dudley Hoare. So I go job hunting early 73, about January there, and went to the Minister of Construction, the interview. Then I went to JBC, now defunct Broadcasting Corporation, because it was like the #1 television station and also radio station in Jamaica. And I got a job, which is very exciting. And from there, doing accounts as a junior accounting clerk, and you know, the rest is history. And then 1975, you know, it was a turning period in my life. I met this guy called Mikey Dread. You know, I'm the one who get the job for him, show a guy called Harvey at the time, because then I was like involved like in trade unionism, so dynamite, exciting, you know, always just for the poor and the oppressed, a humanitarian, which I'm still today. You know, I'm not really a materialistic person, but I always look out for people who, if it means well, I will do good. If you don't mean well, I will still do good. If you don't mean well, I still do good. That's my life. And we and Mikey team up, you know. He had this program that's doing very good on radio, which was, I was a part of that. And a guy was called Ranking Foot and also Paul Aiken. And the program propelled Mikey so big at the time, because in those days reggae I mean, it was like in a land of Jamaica, you know, reggae, birth and rocksteady, ska, quadrille. It was most R&B coming through, and you know, the most American influence, you know. And credit to Mikey, you know, that he came and changed that. And it's the only program at the time where nobody sleeps after 12 on a Friday night in Jamaica. And this is supposed to be like bedtime. But then people up because it's like a weekend, that's we call it strung in. So people up, you know, on a Friday night and until Saturday morning, you know, everybody have the tape and the cassette. So I was a part of that. And during that time, you know, Mikey decided that, you know, we should go into production. And then we met up with this lady called Pam Mickling, who heard me one day was singing in a accounts department where I was working at the time at JBC. And she said, wow, this voice sounds great, you know, because I've been to many studios during that period, you know, circle like Joe Gibbs, Studio One, you know, as a young guy, nobody really wanted that, you know, young kid. But give thanks for her, you know, that she discovered this voice and said, I don't want you to be somebody, man, because your voice is different. And our first recording was Miss Molly Collin, was produced by Pam Hickling and the 40 Leg label. And Mikey Dread, Dread the Control at the time, is Dread the Control. Miss Michael Campbell, he was a part of that building process of my career. And you know, from there on it's like, you know.
Wow. So Mikey Dread was a big influence.
Well, yeah, he was a big influence, and also I was a big influence in his career too, you know, because as I said before, when Mikey came to JBC, he was looking for a job, because he was an attending cast, you know, in Jamaica, which is now a university, and we just teamed from there. So it was a big influence in my life. Also, I was also a big influence in his life, because after recording Miss Molly Call, we went on and do songs like African Religion, Countryman, which were hit songs. And then his program was so popular then in Britain. That's The Clash.
Yeah, you hooked up with The Clash.
Right, in 1980. They hooked up with Mikey, so they came to Jamaica, you know, and hooked up with Mikey, and it was an honor to meet people like Mickey Gallagher and people like Joe Strummer was my virgin. And you know, enough condolence goes out to his family until today, because I guess he's one of the best vocal rock group of all times, because he not only sing about fantasy or just sing about rock, but he always talk about politically and things that really affects people life universally, you know. And even today I look at U2, I think it's just a takeoff from The Clash, you know. Yeah. So it's a great period then, you know, with me and Mikey Dread, The Clash. That was the 1980 period. And then me and Mikey break off 1980, which was another turnaround in my career, you know. Yeah, for sure.
And then you hooked up with the musical ambassador. Right,
yeah, that is it's another length of breath there. At that time, we were working at JBC, leaving Mikey Dread there, and he migrated to Europe, Britain. I met this guy, 81, the musical ambassador, which was a very good friend of mine, also Mikey too. So he decided that since that Mikey migrated and you have nothing in the pipeline, because in those days until today, I didn't like to really go and produce for every producer, you know, because I know one day your career would be like a pot of soup that is boiling, and the pot, and if the chef is not going to turn on that pot of soup and leave that burning, it's dried out and the pot catch a fire, then you know the house come burning down, and then someone's going to die. So I rather just keep my career under you know, very simple. I always look for people like independent producers. Until today I still do that. Hooking up with Mutual Ambassador, it was still like producing some artists, but nothing of great talent, you know. Our first thing that we did was Check For You Once, which was a monster, it was a smash hit, you know, for weeks and weeks in Jamaica, and that's where my career took off. Then we did an album called Check For You Once, which went #1 for 7 weeks in Jamaica. 1982. So Check for Once was a big hit in 81, 82. The album was a big hit also. And from that album came like You on a Penitentiary, Work on Mr. Farmer.
African Queen.
Right, African Queen. So many songs from that. And then that album was such an influence worldwide. This company called Alligator Records, which is now defunct, out of New York, somewhere around there. I don't know exactly where now. They took the album. At the time, I myself and Muta Baruch was supposed to do a tour because they took up Muta then as one of the first, I won't say the first poet, because Michael Smith was, which I think, to me, I think is much a better poet than Muta Baruch. Muta was unavailable, so they took Muta. In those days, it was like the Rasta thing coming through, and I was still searching about Rasta. Although my father was a Rasta article, because I born see Selassie, I pictured my dad home, and know about Rasta, but never really exactly know Rasta. So then in those days, like the dreadlock, you know the Covenant. So they took Muta, and then so that was that. And during that period of time, I just keep on putting on hits after hits. My second album was like coming up strong, which a track from that was Princess Black, which was until today the Rolling Stone magazine said the only two songs out of Jamaica during that period, 70s into the early 80s, that gave tribute to women, not only black women but women universally, was Princess Black by Edi Fitzroy and No Woman to Cry by Bob Marley. So it was a great honor to really that amalgamation there with Bob and myself, And during that time, just keep on searching, doing songs for independent producers, of It's Like Prison Life, Dead Truck, so many songs, hits after hits after hits, during the 80s up into the 90s.
And lots of awards. Also, you got...
Oh wow, I get so many awards. We could retrack ourselves. One of my biggest awards then was in 1985. I got an award for Best Song and Best Video of the Year, which is Princess Black, which is still an anthem towards not only black women universally, but women who are single parent, who take care of their kids now without fathers around. And also, at one time, someone said, why you don't do a song called Prince Black? Because you also have, men who have to take care of kids too, when, mom run off to and leave kids. So, they have to take kids to grandparents and, which I never really too look into that, because sometimes I don't really like to confuse the whole, the sense of music and my purpose and my vision. During that year I get numerous awards like from Martins International, most cultural artists, 88, 87, 86. Reggae Sunsplash was my first big festival. I think that was in 1987, 86, 87. Reggae Sunsplash was an honor for me, which I did pretty well. Then I became the voice of Jamaica. And in 1988 I went on Reggae Sunsplash USA tour, which was an honor for me too. And which is very good. And then I know that my career was no joke thing, because then I was still working as an accountant at JBC. So to really balance both career, it was people always ask me why I do it. But sometimes there's a saying that a brother told me, his name is Bongo Herman, which is also a legend within the music. He told me one day that some people come and some are sent. And if you come, then you're going to be fall by the wayside and become stupid within your mission. But if you are sent, then there's a clear journey and there's a clear path. And you will do what you have to do, and until that time come when you move on to another level out of flesh into the spiritual dimension. Yes, for sure, it's great.
Then you came out with one of my favorites, Eclipse.
Oh, that album was something. I came up with that I think it was late 89, went to 90 there. Produced by these guys called Tellwell, Jacko Carter and also a guy named Delroy Thompson from TPS at the time. They saw me as an artist at the time, you know, of something can happen, you know, for this guy. So we come together, we put out a song called What a Trick from the album. Did pretty well, you know. As I say, in those days, 80 into the 90s, the cultural thing was kicking. I want to have a little slacky time with the Yellow Man vibes coming through, but, you know, it was as bad as now where, you know, the whole thing becomes, you know, confusion. Then we did a song called, a cover version of What to the California album.
Right.
Which today I heard that is one of the biggest played song on the satellite radio station in the USFA and universally. This guy from the group called Rockabessa. His name is Jackson. I forget his name. I think he was the drummer of that group. The vocal of the group died. They were coming from a tour and the vocal died in Jamaica. And he's now working at a radio station. And he told me a couple of years about that song Will Never Die. And the original singer, which is the Eagles, was on a concert in 91 in San Francisco. They came to the concert and came in backstage. And he said to me that, you know, one of the best cover versions of this song, you know, done by you. Because I believe for quite a few, but this one is very authentic. And he asked me, who are these musicians? I said, Sly and Robbie. And so there goes.